Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to Fit Mom on Fire TV. How is everyone? Sorry for starting a little late. I have obviously uh, children that I have to take care of, and they were right at nap time. I was getting them down. So normally I go across the street to my mom's house to get on and do any administrative work that I do behind the scenes, back office stuff to get these shows ready, research or anything that I'm doing. And so today I'm just like, I'm doing this live stream. I don't really want to do it in her room because like any of the videos that I've done them in my house. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. And so yeah, it was right at bedtime for them. And so it was a little hectic getting them down. But I hope everybody is having an amazing day. So today I wanted to share about my natural home birth. So I actually have the video posted on the Holistic Mom Super Channel. I actually think I have it on all of them, depending on where you're tuning in from. It should be listed under my playlist. So yeah, my doula put that together for me. It was pretty awesome. And I have two small children. I have a 12-year-old, and so I was a single mom, all raising her through her early adolescence, and so 12 years removed from the process. It's almost like being a new mom. I feel like a new mom. So if you're just jumping on, give me a shout out in the chat. Let me know where you're from, what channel you're watching from as well. So I'm just sharing about my natural birth and what led me to that decision. So I had my first daughter in 2008. I was still a kid. I was 23 when I had her, and parenting was something to be desired. Like I was not present. I projected all of my baggage onto my child, and really took her through the ringer. Now she's doing her own healing work from my parenting, but she's so much older now, and so much more mature and in a much better place now that she's been taking the hemp work CBD along with me. And I got married in 2018 to the love of my life, and finally got pregnant in 2019. On Mother's Day, we found out I was pregnant, and I knew that I wanted to do it. I wanted to do something different this time. Hello, thank you so much for being here. Oh, I'm so nervous. This is crazy. Like every time I get on, I still kind of like feel really, really nervous when I get on. So thank you for showing up and for being here with me. Yeah, so I'm just going through the little story of what brought me to the decision to have a natural birth. And my second daughter was in the hospital, and I wanted a natural birth with that one. And I sought out a midwife. At least I thought it was a midwife. It was a midwifery that was with the hospital. So they were really midwives, and this is my term for them because they pretty much it's still all about allopathic medicine, and that's what they push. They push, jabs and all types of medication for morning sickness, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do any of that. Even there's something that if you're a certain blood type, that you have to they want you to take this jab that is I did the research on it. It's what is it called now? I can't even remember the name of it, but it's basically I can't say everything because we're censored, so it's like I'm so scared to say any of the stuff. Anyways, they do something to get your body to react to your baby's blood to create antibodies, and it's not healthy for you because it's basically the same stuff that's in the jabs the mercury and neurotoxins that are in there. So I don't know why they push it. There's a lot of stuff that they wanted me to do and I didn't. And right up until the very end, they had me scared. This tactic that they had to try to scare me into going and getting induced. I don't know why they push that stuff, but it's just crazy. Hey Rita, thank you so much for joining me. Got to gather my thoughts. Give me a second. I actually have notes on this, but I wasn't going to tell this whole story. Thank you, everybody. I see there's some people jumping on. Thank you so much for joining me. So I ended up being induced. The midwife had a sonogram done, and they were saying that, give or take a pound, that's a big difference. The baby's weight was in question. Hi, Hippie G. Thank you so much for joining me. So midwife wanted me to go in and be induced, and I wasn't fully aware of what a natural birth was. Now, this was I gave birth to my daughter January 1st, 2020 at 5:22 in the morning. It was a pretty fast labor after being induced, and it wasn't invasive. But I was not prepared for this one. My mom had 5 children, all natural, and she's like been preaching to me, oh, you can do it. And I don't think she really remembers what it was like, because it was painful. And if I would have now the first time I did a class with the doula, but it was only a 2-hour class. It wasn't enough. You do not remember all of your training at all. So you definitely need more on childbirth, more education on childbirth. So, I mean, it was literally a movie scene worthy hospital labor of me screaming bloody murder because I was in so much pain. And then at the end, I was like, I need something. So the doctors, they rushed to my aid and gave me something, anesthesia, that just made me high. So my baby was born high. I couldn't even keep my eyes open, and it made it really hard to push. After that, I knew that I felt so cheated, but at least I didn't have the epidural. I was proud of myself for making it through. And if I would have had somebody there coaching me by my bedside, it would have been so much easier to handle it, because it's really, and you're going to love this, engaged Reiki, it's all about the breath. And so the second time around, my son, he was born February 18th at 12:33. And get this, the labor lasted for exactly 3 hours and 33 minutes. What an awesome synchronicity. So when it started, I did a 12-week class with my doula. And when it started, it came on really fast and really intense. And right before it started, I was like, man, I really don't feel good. I want to take a shower. And I go into the shower and I'm standing there. And for all of those mothers out there, I've never really understood what people say when, oh, it looks like they've dropped. Like, what? I don't feel anything different. I didn't for my first, and I didn't for my second, but he dropped in the shower, literally felt like it was right between my legs. And then the contractions were very intense from that point on. And I was like, yeah, these are definitely not practice contractions. So, and it was from back and forth from the bed to the toilet to the shower. And my doula finally got there, and she really kept me, focused, the breathing, the deep sounds that brings it low. You think everything, low. So a really low, om sound. And that helps the gravity, everything. It was just amazing how your body knows what to do. And so you don't even need to be induced for all of those women that have made it to their due date and the baby hasn't come yet. It's not natural to go be induced. Your body, you're not gonna have that baby in your belly forever at all. It's going to come out eventually. And so you don't need to intervene for something like that. And even in the hospital, the doctors will push medical intervention. They don't know how. This is what I've learned about hospitals and doctors and midwives. You really have to research. If you're wanting a natural birth, you really need to make sure that the midwife that you choose or the professional that you choose is in alignment with your wishes. Because I mean, and you know, you want to talk it out. Don't just assume. Don't just read their website and assume that they're in line with what it is that you really want. And so a natural birth is not just no epidural. This is something I didn't know. I learned this the first time around. A natural birth is letting your body do what it does. You know, you're going to, give birth to that baby and your body is going to prepare for it. And all you have to do is make sure that you're eating high quality, nutritious food to restore, because the baby's going to take from you. So you want to restore everything that the baby's taking so that you can maintain optimal health. And being active, sitting down actually makes your bum hurt when you're pregnant. Your actual tailbone will be super sore if you're not up off of your butt. And so the baby isn't going to come if you're sitting down all the time. You're not going to go into labor if you're constantly sitting down. So my son, I actually had him, my midwife had to get me up off of the toilet because it was a very comfortable position and get me on the bed on my back so that the baby would stop coming down, because his head was literally, she was able to take her phone and stick it down in between my legs and you could see the baby's head. My midwife did not get there because she was coming from Atlanta and I live in like kind of the outskirts of Athens, a little bit in the country. She didn't make it 15 minutes. And if my doula, if my doula wouldn't have tried to slow labor down, I would have had that baby before my midwife came. It was great. 3 hours and 33 minutes. It was super fast. And even though it was painful, I will do it again and again and again. If having more children is in my future, that's the way that I will do it. And having the baby at home was, it was so nice because, okay, so I've been incarcerated. If you don't know that about me, I did 3 years in prison and a lot of time in county jail. And so hospitals to me are like institutions. I mean, they feel like prison. That's exactly how they feel. And that's how they treat you too. And that was another reason why I did not want to have a baby in the hospital this time around, because I mean, the medical community has lost their ever-loving mind. And the hospitals were locked down with masks and minimal visitors. And it's like your midwife or your doula, to me, it's like the same, it's so interchangeable. The doula is somebody that educates you on childbirth. And your midwife is your natural delivery team, for your natural birth. But yeah, hospitals, they are institutions. That's exactly what they keep you. They don't want to let you leave. They want to, like, they treat you as if you have to do what they say and you're not allowed to go. And I have had to ask before, am I under arrest? Then I'm leaving. Why are you holding me here? Let me pull up my notes so I feel like I've just kind of all off track. So does anybody have any questions at this point about natural childbirth? I do have a lot of resources for you that obviously I'm just going to be giving you everything that I used. So if you want to find a midwife and not a medwife, that is my name for it. It's something that my doula said, and it was really funny. I was like, I'm totally going to steal that and just say it. Hi, Dom. Thank you so much for being here. How are you today? It was supposed to be partly cloudy, and oh my gosh, I think I see the sun coming out right now. It was cloudy all morning and I missed the sun. I actually got up, and this Engaged Reiki, I don't even know what your real name is. I'm just going to call you Engaged Reiki. If you want to let me know what your real name is, drop it in the chat. But I have been trying to get up and be consistent with the self-care that I'm, trying to, I strive for these things. And Spirit told me today, be about it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. And the breath work that I did with you the first time that I watched. I absolutely love the way it made me feel. And this isn't something new. I was wanting to do breath work through going through my up through my pregnancy, and I never got around to it. And then when I got to actually going into labor, having that breath work experience and being conditioned, it makes all the difference. It would have been a lot better experience for me had I have been practicing breath work. And then so I was just in Sedona a few weeks ago, and we did a little breath work ceremony, and it really released a lot of energy. Like I was boohoo crying for like 10 minutes. It was great to, allow that oxygen into all of those places that I've been restricting it. So thank you, Kevin and Tibby say, I don't know how I'm saying that right. Pronouncing it, Kevin, thank you for everything that you do, for the community that you've created, because it's empowering me to keep my word to myself, to actually get up and be intentional about what I'm creating. And I know that you create your reality, and everything in your life is a reflection of I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's a reflection of and everything internal that's going on internally is reflecting outward in what you see in your life. And so I'm really thankful for the community that you've created. And I try to tune in at 8 o'clock, but everybody's getting up right then, and so I can watch it, but I can't actually participate live with you. I have to go back and watch it later because the kids are like pulling at me and crying, and everybody wants to get fed. So, but finding back on topic. My mom had a cesarean, actually. She had 4 kids. She had 5 kids total. One died at birth, but she had 2. The second one was a cesarean, and then I was natural again. So it just depends on, her doctor. Her doctor took care of her and how he cut her so that she was able to have a natural childbirth again, which is pretty amazing. So back on topic. I just all over the place. More meditation. That's something that will help. I know when I'm meditated up pretty well, I don't have that like monkey mind where I'm jumping all over the place, but it's a process and it's consistency. And so I was up this morning meditating and, out in nature, and I'll be meditating after I get off this broadcast. I'm going to start meditating before I broadcast. So my midwife was absolutely amazing. And, I really recommend finding someone that's not associated with an OBGYN or a medical practice, but like an individual midwife. And I will link the one that I used. I mean, if you're in the area, she travels. So again, she's in Atlanta and I'm in Athens. And so she traveled to me. About an hour and a half is how far she travels. So if you're in the area anywhere, or anybody that ends up catching this on the replay, she is really awesome. And it's actually a lot less expensive to have a natural home birth than it is to have a birth in the hospital. It is outrageous, the prices that they charge for things. So I was saying in my little notes, there is such thing as a midwife. They are, somebody that is, going to push like allopathic medicine. Get educated. It's important to know what natural childbirth entails. Something that really stood out to me in the training that I did with my doula, she had me get the book, Natural Childbirth the Bradley Way. And so it had all of these illustrations. And being a personal trainer, like the uterus is a muscle. When I read that, I'm going, wow, like my mind was blown. I'm going, this is something I can totally relate to, because this muscle is contracting. And so when you start having all of this pain, it's not something to be scared about, or you think something's wrong. It can be pretty scary when all of this stuff is happening with your body, and your body is changing and creating this little person, growing inside of you. It's definitely an experience. And so, knowing about, what to expect and what actually happens to your body and to your reproductive system when you're growing a baby and when you give birth to a baby, well, it's something that you can wrap your mind around. I don't know how else to explain it, but it really made a difference when I went into labor, that I knew what was actually happening with my body. And so you have to be prepared physically for something like that. If you're really out of shape, you got to have the stamina to withstand all of these contractions and the minimal rest in between those contractions to be able to make it to the end. And you're going to be sweating your ass off. You're going to be thirsty. You're going to be tired. It's pretty intense. So being well hydrated, making sure that you have been eating properly, higher vibration foods, definitely higher quality. If you're going to do meat or meat products, meat products, animal protein. If you're going to be consuming animal protein, you want them to be the really, really high quality. So I actually have some chickens of my own that they're fed really well because I eat organic. I shop at a farmer's market. It's really high quality produce. I do eat some animal protein, but not a lot. And I'm transitioning off of that. I'm not completely vegan, but I do enjoy plant-based, predominantly plant-based. So what I'm doing here, I'm actually where I live. This property is on, the house that I'm in is on 48 acres. And then just behind that, there's another 11 acres. And I'm not even sure how much is across the street. That's my grandma's. This is all my family's land. And they've lived on it for over 200 years. There's even an old house, there's an old barn, and there's a spring and a creek. So there's like history to this. And my mom was telling me, she's like, that's how it was done back in the old days. Women delivered babies at home. And it just makes it so much better. And so we're actually going to be, cleaning the property out. We want to keep all the big trees, grow some, have a little garden, not a little garden, a big garden, grow vegetables, herbs. We have fruit trees. I have two wild fig trees. There's one in front and one in back. There's probably like 6 apple trees. There's pecan trees. There's a walnut tree back there. Like I have everything I need. I have a spring. This is like self-sustaining, and we just need to kind of like fix it up a little bit. And that is my vision for this. And everybody should have something like this. And I want to bring all of my family here. I know this is completely off topic, but I wanted to share. I want to bring my family here and like everybody, take a little piece of land. Like I'm not selling it to you. The house is yours. You can't sell it. It's just here. It's in the family. You can pass your house down to somebody in your family. And so it's yours. It belongs to you. And have everything we need here. It's going to be awesome. So this is how it was done. And this is how it was done back in the day. You were, you had your farm, your little farm, your garden, and you traded things with other people that had something that you didn't have. And that is the vision. It's creating, abundance for everybody. And you know what? I don't make any money with what I do. I was a personal trainer and I stopped training. This is what I do, and this is what I love. And I want to share as much of the information that I have with you all, because, it doesn't help anybody just sitting in my mind. And if I don't get to talk to anybody face to face anymore, this is what I love. So I would do this if I had $1 million in the bank. I would still do this. That's pretty much everything on my list. So what did I say? We're going to kind of recap. So midwife, find a midwife. I didn't put this on there. Find a doula. Find a midwife, a good one that is in line with what you're looking for. Same with the doula. Get educated. There are 3 books that I recommend. Childbirth the Bradley Way. Birthing from Within, and this one was pretty cool. Definitely, it's a must read. Orgasmic Birth. So that's basically what giving birth is. Your body, it's the same process as an orgasm. What happens to your uterus is contracting, everything's contracting, and there are women. I did not have this, but there are women that have reported having an orgasmic birth. Hydration, filtered or distilled water. And I have a document on distilled water that would be pretty interesting for you guys. If you want to read it, it's going to be in the description below. During your pregnancy, you want to connect with your baby. So this is something that I did not do, but with having my, other baby running around and climbing all over me, it was really hard for me to have time to myself to sit down and meditate. And I was really stressed out the entire pregnancy. But being able to connect with your baby is going to be, that's going to, what am I trying to say? So, trauma actually happens at birth, or it can be very traumatic depending on the experience for the baby, depending on your, experience while you're pregnant. Everything that you feel, your baby feels. If you're afraid, your baby feels afraid. If it's a very toxic environment, your baby is going to be affected by that. And so the trauma can happen in the womb as well. And so we have this trauma, even though we don't remember it. Some things can stem from those issues. So connecting with your baby, being present, it will enable you to bring a soul into this world that doesn't have any issues to have to heal from. So it all starts with you parents. It all starts with being conscious, from the moment of conception, and not, I've felt bad about this, but I've forgiven myself for it, because when I got pregnant with Micah, I did not want to be pregnant again. I had just had a baby and I was pissed. And I was sick. I was sick with Micah, morning sickness, all the way until I gave birth. Why? Why was I sick? There is something to, the emotions that you're generating, and it being connected to the physical things that you're experiencing. So I was sick because I did not want to accept the pregnancy. I did not want to accept that I am a mom again. After being 12 years removed, I didn't want to be a mom with her. So this is a huge healing process for me. And so these babies have come, and I thank them for it every day when I am with them and when I hold them, for choosing to be here with me right now to help me heal, because that's what they're here for. I have so many triggers around parenting, around being motherly, and having to get up in the middle of the night and take care of these babies, and being aware of that. I've changed so much from, my daughter, my first daughter, my 12-year-old. She was what started me on this awakening, because I read Dr. Shefali's The Conscious Parent, and it really shed some light on my shadow, and I could see it, and I could see that I was projecting everything onto her, and that she was internalizing all of my junk. And I felt so bad for it. And the thing is you have to forgive yourself for those things. And it's not always, you can't hold on to it, because, and then that story that you hold on to, this kind of, moves into being able to heal completely, from everything. It's always going to come up. There's never, like, you're never through with it. There's always a new level, and there's always going to be something that needs to be addressed. I completely lost my train of thought, what I was talking, or what I was leading to. Let me look at these comments over here, because I have been neglecting you guys, just telling my story. Midwife is a perfect term to use. I had my kids in 98 and 2000, even though I was planning for a natural childbirth and took breathing classes. Even the midwife was offering me drugs at the hospital. That's what they do, girl. That is what they do. That's their job. That's all they know. That's how they were trained. They were not trained in childbirth medical intervention. They're there to make you comfortable. That's what medical intervention is. So of course they're going to offer you something. And that's all, again, that's all they know. This is like the culture that we are not, women and girls are not educated on their bodies and what the reproductive system is and what parenting is. I mean, just talking about having my first and not even wanting to be a parent, when I was with, being with men, I wanted to have a baby. Subconsciously it was to trap them or something, it just more, there needs to be a spotlight on this, and we need to start teaching our girls the truth about their bodies, because I wanted to have a baby because I wanted this little thing to love me, and then we tend to want to live our lives through them. And that's, taking them out of who it is that they really are and trying to tell them what they should be, and then getting mad at them when they don't measure up. And really, it's because we don't love ourselves. So teaching, ultimately, in a perfect world, the girls are going to be taught this, and they're not going to be wanting to go out and have sex at a young age and pop out babies because they want little mini me's running around to love them. But we have to start. That's what I'm doing. I mean, my daughter's at that age now where she wants to. I'm going to move this. Can I move this? No. I'm trying to mess with my tech stuff. She's with wanting to be with boys, and she's 12, but legally she's 12 in this life, but she acts like she's 16 or 17, and she even looks 16 or 17. So it's keeping the line of communication open with her, because I know what I was doing at her age, or a little bit after. Really, it wasn't 12, it was like 13, 14, but it's right around the same time. So I know what she's wanting and what she's thinking, what she's wanting to do. And, it's by being super anal and controlling. And this is how I was. That's why I had to send her away when I sent her away. And I'll let you guys know a little bit about that story in just a minute. But if I'm too much, it'll actually push her away. I know that about her, and every child is different. This is my child. She needs to be addressed like a young adult and given opportunities to prove herself. And it's her life and her choices to make. It's not my choices to make. I can't make them for her, and I can't protect her from everything, and she has to make those decisions and suffer the consequences to learn her lessons. So at this point, she's not a child anymore, and I'm still her mother, and I'm still going to lay down structure for her. But as far as being all in every single thing that she does, I just can't anymore, because it'll drive me crazy. So the little bit about, her and what happened with that is when I was pregnant with Micah, and she was stealing and lying and not running away, sneaking out at night with her friends and hanging out with some friends that were a little bit older. When she came home, she was 11. She had hickeys on her neck. I lost my shit. That's not what happened that led her to being sent away. But we were fighting, and she was smarting off to me, and I literally jumped up out of my chair and I put my hands around her neck, and I'm going, okay, after this, I cried about it. I reacted. I own it. But I realized that she, being pregnant at the time, I needed to send her away. There needed to be an intervention. so that I could, I could make it through this pregnancy. And I didn't want to subject Audrey or my son Micah to, this toxicity. And so everyone was upset at me for sending her away, except for my brother and his wife. They offered to take her, and they helped me and my cousin. They all like rallied around us. And then I started using HempWorks CBD, and was doing research on it, and absolutely loved the like all of the information that I was reading. And so I started her on it as well. And 30 days, and she made a complete turnaround. Mentally, she was actually a lot happier. Just before that, when she was depressed, she was cutting herself. And so then she started 30 days later, she's on CBD, and she's telling me, she actually feels good. She's started to do affirmations, and she believes me now. They really work. And she was asking me for more. It really, really touched my heart. And so I took her on a spiritual retreat to Sedona, and we really connected. We have an amazing relationship now. We can actually talk, and I attribute that, I mean, obviously, to the intervention, sending her away. I know, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but I believe 100% that her being on CBD made a huge difference and is continuing to make a difference. And so parents, look into that for your children, and get them off the pharmaceuticals, because those things are very, very damaging. I actually was on Vyvanse for a time. Vyvanse helped me to actually wean myself off of using cocaine. So it is beneficial. It can be, but I started weaning myself off of Vyvanse because I didn't want to continue doing it. And so not everybody is that disciplined to, get off of those things. But, putting your children on them, I did it. I did Vyvanse because it made me feel like I was high. And again, like I said, it helped me quit something, and then I was able to get off of it, and it was great. But having children on that stuff, it will mess them up. So research CBD for your children. It's gonna make a difference. Back to the comments. Love that vision. It's an awesome vision. I told my mom about it, and she actually drew a vision board and is mapping it out. I taught my mom about the law of attraction and how you create and you visualize, and this is like the tool that we have, and my mom is all on it. And here's this amazing thing. So the property, we don't own it. It's my uncle's property, and the property over there is my grandmother's property. And so my mom wants to buy it. Well, my dad, he recently passed away in January. He was in lawn care for 30 years, and using Roundup. And so he actually developed cancer in 2015. He went into remission, but he never went back to the doctor and got checked up or anything. It's just my dad was extremely stubborn, and he had been to prison, reform school, and all that stuff. And so he didn't like the medical institutions either. And so that's why he didn't go back. But he ended up coming up here the last year of his life. He was in Georgia with us and helping us with the property and everything. And he has a lawsuit now, and he passed away. He's getting his estate. I can't even speculate on it. It's a lot. I don't even know. I'm fingers crossed that it's everything we need to do everything that we want to do, but that's coming to us. So yeah. By the way, this is beautiful, the property, Kevin. And I plan to, at some point, be able to set my computer up outside on, various places on the property, and do my streaming from there. That's down the pipeline. Wow. Breastfeeding for 3 years. That is a lot. I think my mom breastfed me until I was 2. This is a story. She told me that she breastfed me until I started pulling her shirt up in public. Breastfeeding is so, so important. I actually just made, so now that I had to get my daughter off of breast milk. Well, I ran out of breast milk with my now 15-month-old. and it dried up. And then right when it dried up, I got pregnant again. Yeah, it's great. So I didn't have any more. I had milk stored, but not a lot. And so I had to start making like a homemade formula. And I did hemp milk formula. And then my daughter, she actually broke her leg. She broke her tibia. And so I had to take her to the urgent care and see a specialist. And the specialist wanted me to put her on formula. And that was a tough one for me, because formula, all the baby formulas out there that I see, this is the reason why I posted the video on safflower oil. All of the baby formulas have some form, even the organic ones have some form of like crap in it, in the ingredients. It's, safflower oil, sunflower oil, soy oil, canola oil, and then they want to like make you think that it's good by calling it organic. Yeah, none of that stuff is good. Your best bet is making a formula at home, or there's got to be create a formula. So either you make your formula at home, or you be the creator of a new formula that's high quality, because there's nothing out there that I can find on the market. If you know of a good quality formula, drop it in the chat. Let me know, because again, I've looked and looked and looked, and the only thing that I could find that was better was stuff that was from other countries, and I couldn't really read it because everything was in another language. So are you talking about what I was saying? I wasn't advertising. I was just telling you a story. But if I'm mistaken on that one, please let me know. She was actually taking the gummies and one of the tinctures. So I just got my new one in today, and I'm interested to try it. It's the strawberry guava. This is the flavor that she was using, and she said she liked it. Strawberry guava 500 full spectrum, and the gummies, which are, I think for each drop of the oil, it's 10 milligrams. And then the gummies are 10 milligrams. And she took those 3 times a day. So she was getting a total of 30 milligrams of full spectrum CBD. Well, the gummies are not full spectrum, but the tinctures that I bought her were full spectrum. So she was getting 30 milligrams a day. Morning, after she got home from school, and then right before she went to bed. Christine, I just want to say thank you for your comments, but you can, if you don't like what you hear, you don't have to stay and watch it. So does anybody else have any questions about natural childbirth or my story? Or thank you, Hippie. Thank you for being here. It really, really makes a big difference, and it means the world to me to be able to get on and share my story. It is very healing to get on and talk about your experiences. So if this is something that any ladies are interested in, and you don't really know where to start, I have a super channel, and I am growing a collective of women to be able to broadcast their story, their experiences, any expertise that they have. Raise your vibration, heal hearts and humanity. Shoot me an email. I always have to like scramble to do this. Which one is it? If this is you're interested in being able to, have a YouTube channel, start your own YouTube channel. If you want to heal, if you want to raise your vibration, you want to start to heal your heart, raise your vibration, and, change your future, change the circumstances for yourself and for your family, I encourage you to reach out to me, shoot me an email, and we'll go over the details. But I love everybody. Thank you for being here and for sticking with me this entire time. It's always nerve-wracking, but I am getting so much better at it. Every time I do this, it seems to get a little bit easier. I get to open up a little bit more. So thank you. Thank you for listening to me, because I don't have anybody else in my physical life that wants to listen to what I have to say anymore. They're over the health health conscious, you know, constantly telling them how they needed, what they need to do to change. So this is something that I've been working on, is to not like offer my help to somebody that doesn't really want it. And so this is a way for me to be able to put my story out there and anything that I've learned, and people can get the help that they need just by listening to the video. So I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. Again, I do want to start doing something that's a little more consistent, but it's so hard for me with, you know, with my life and what I have going on right now. But I'm trying to listen to spirit and you know, really focus inward and stop worrying about all of the external stuff, because it's going to come. But I will be on here again. I will send out a notification. So if you want to be notified of when I do another broadcast, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and you will get any notifications of live broadcasts or any videos that I upload. Also, my personal channel, there's a little badge on the super channel for that. I will be doing exclusive content on both of those. So if you're interested in what else I have to share, you know, go ahead and subscribe to that one as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rita. Yes, that's the truth. Mine is very crazy. Like the, you know, you haven't even heard a third of you know, the story. It's just, it's really outrageous. And I want to, I felt, slow down, Stacy. I have felt compelled to share my story for a long time, and I've been terrified to do it, or I didn't know how to do it, or I wanted to have a YouTube channel and do videos because I knew that was the best way, but I was too scared and I didn't know how to start. And that's why I want to help anybody who's interested in this to be able to get on camera and do it. And you know, I have everything that you need to get you going. It's like basically in a box, you know, all you got to do is plug and play and go. So again, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and jump off, because I've got a baby in there that's whining. I think he's hungry, so I'm going to go feed him. Thank you so much for being here, everybody, and I will see you next time.